Big surprise. We're live. Hey yo.
Hey!
Hey Mark, long time no see. How nice
Or,
of you to join the
or
stream
ever.
today.
First time ever on stream.
Oh, that's so nice. So Mark volunteered a while ago already because
Volunteered for a different stream.
he wanted desperately to join the stream, and here it finally is, the big moment.
Woo!
Yeah, let's see if we can get some more people on board, and then we can do the big introduction who Mark is and why everybody already knows him. Which is pretty nice. Oh, this music in the background is horrendous.
Glad I don't hear it.
No, let me. Okay, I think this is a bit better. Okay, nice. Yes, it's the big Erik and Mark show, and the thing is, we're going live support today.
Yeah, throw me your order numbers. Let's go.
Share your order number, tracking number. We'll fix it for you. No, that's something we're not gonna do. That's not Mark. The real Mark looks more like Akbar. Yeah,
It's a trap!
It's a trap. I know. Manson stream when? Oh, that would be so sick. Can you imagine, Mark? You and Manson together on the stream, actually doing live tickets.
It'd be a quacking good time.
That would be definitely a quacking good time. Hey, Tony, thanks again for the subscription. Sounds like a waste of money. We're giving you money so you can give us money. No, it's nice. It's nice that you're already 3 years subscribed to our Twitch channel from the start. We're also live over at YouTube. Hello, Joe. Hello, Joe. The chat still can't see each other. Sadly, maybe that's something for the next live stream. Something we can improve, but I'll try to keep an.
YouTube can see what Twitch says and vice versa.
Yes, but I'll try to keep an. I try to keep an eye on the YouTube thing as well. And official Zenit Master, he's definitely right. You guys should add the Wooting 6HG to the stuff on the stream. There's a lot we need to do to update this whole stream, but truth to be told, we do a stream every 2 weeks, and most of the time all the preparation we have is like 15 minutes or half an hour before the live stream starts. We go like, okay, what are we going to talk about today, what happened, and yes, it's not a lot of work, to fix it and make it all look a bit better, and especially descriptions and making it good, but it's something we should definitely work on. I think it's something Sander is also very keen on doing. Our big.
Yes, you are in my kitchen, and you're also in my office, and my dining room, and my living room.
Mark is so efficient.
Just efficiency, that's exactly right.
Yeah, 1 second.
And he's gone.
No, I'm back. I just my girlfriend came in home, and I don't think she was aware I had a live stream. So before she runs in here and hugs me, so the whole world can see her, it's a best kept secret.
I did just get some Wagyu beef delivered for Black Friday sale. So thanks Quinn for getting me that link.
Oh, that's it sounds
Looking forward to
delicious. Hey, HSHQC, thanks for subscribing with Prime. But let's introduce Mark a little bit, because everybody already knows Mark. He's Mr. Akbar on Discord. Mark has been mainly responsible for answering tickets. So if you have a question and you contact, reach out to us through email. Mark and Manson are the ones who get it. And Mark's been working for us for like, I don't know, how long have you been in customer service? For over a year already, right?
Been doing that right about a year now. Started part time, and
yeah.
as Wooting exploded in growth, that went full time real quick.
Yeah, so probably when you ever send an email to us, Mark is the one who read it and replied to you. There's a big fat chance. So you had some personal touch with him. But Mark has been helping us out way before that.
That's true. Yeah, I knew these guys from my brother was a friend of Calder's and Jeroen's in school. but I lived in the States, and they needed an RMA location for keyboards and that sort of thing. So like years and years ago, my home address was where all of Wooting's RMAs in the US got sent to.
Yeah, because if it is like a keyboard broken or something's wrong with it, and we had to ship it back to our warehouse in the US, it's way too expensive because they're just gonna ask a storage fee. And Mark was like, "Yeah, let's go."
I just, live in the States. I got a huge house, right? I got plenty of room for a couple of keyboards, no problem.
Yeah, and and now in the Netherlands, you have
Now I
everything
don't.
condensed in
Yes.
in one single room. No, and then so actually the first time I met Mark in person was when we were packing the Lacquer editions. That's I think 1.5 years ago. Must be something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, somewhere
Yeah, it was in the
spring.
spring. Yep.
Yeah, and we just needed help packing because we had to pack 1,000. Oh no, not 1,000. Like a lot of keyboards here in Europe. That were shipped out to Europe and worldwide, so everything excluding North America. And yeah, that's a lot of work. And it was only like me, Jeroen, I think Fanan, and Mark helped
Mhm.
out. So it was pretty great.
Yeah, we knocked them out.
We knocked them out, did some packing.
Got a solid process going.
Yeah, and
Good old
then
days of self logistics.
Mark joined the customer service team, and since then he's been doing customer service and some other operational improvements. Is that how you call it?
Yeah, it's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Indeed. Operational excellence.
Operational excellence. That's it.
I've got a jacket that says that actually. Back in the day.
Yeah.
Different company.
And like all our customer service people, Mark lives by these words. Our success is your satisfaction.
Yep. Tell me you're American without telling me you're an American.
Yeah. So why is Mark today in the stream? Well, it's because we're so overwhelmed with tickets that Jeroen and I had to jump in and help out with tickets.
Yep.
And we
Yeah, so,
thought like let's waste
perfect
Mark
time
times
to take
and
me
yeah.
out of resolving problems and into a live stream that adds value.
No, but I think I think it's great to have you here, and I think it's nice that people actually get to know you a bit better. So if you have any specific questions for Mark, be sure to let him know. And yeah, let's first get the big elephant out of the room. Why most people are here. What's going on with the shipments, 6AGs, where we're at, and what's going on. And Mark is like a nice list of things that have been shipped or are in the process of being shipped, like they're packed in a warehouse. And it's currently, especially in the US, it's a bit delayed. Well, I wouldn't say delayed, but because of the whole holidays and Black
slow.
Fridays and stuff, and it's sort of the whole system is clogged, right? And where we could like get an X amount of packages out every day, it's a bit less now, but you know it's slowly getting there. And but the most important thing is, if you really want to know the current status of your order or your batch, go to the Wooting hub. It's on the website wooting.io. Top right corner is like a little a little icon. You can click on it, log in, or create an account with thing you place an order with, and that's where you can find all the information you need about your order. But Mark, what batches got shipped or are starting to being shipped now?
Yeah, so last couple weeks we've shipped thousands of keyboards. It's really quite amazing. The batches that are currently shipping, it's the second half of the NA Behemoth batch, and then NA Curtain. Those with air freight. It's only air freight orders at this point shipping. And then in the EU, we've got Blixem, Roos, and Bin going out the door. Those are it's a lot of shipments. A lot of shipments all at once.
Yeah, it's great. It's all these batches going out at once, and hopefully they get it in time before Christmas. And it's only air freight, right, where these apply to.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So if you got regular sea freight, then you have to wait a little bit longer. But like I mentioned, just go to the hub, and that's where you can find all the correct information. Because at the moment there are so many batches, and they all have like very specific things going on, and they're like at different stages. If we go through it, this stream, that will be like the whole stream where we just have like one big talk about batches where they're at. So we're not going through it. And I'm seeing here in the chat, ready to pack. Your order is getting fulfilled for 1.5 weeks now. That seems a little bit excessive on the long side. Be sure, like Manson already said, be sure to send an email to us if you're worried about a status or something. If you think something is going wrong.
Yeah, so that's probably a good segue into a couple of the issues that we have experienced with some orders.
Mhm.
So we've just shipped tons and tons of orders, and if less than 1% of those have a problem of some kind, that's still a whole lot of orders. That's a whole lot of people whose orders are experiencing something, right?
Yeah.
And a couple of those are if so you confirm your address in our system, and then that gets submitted to the fulfillment center, and in some cases, and this is probably what's going on with Slid's Vamp X, is that the fulfillment center's system doesn't understand the address. Like maybe it's formatted a little differently, or there was a guy in New York who's has a very specific type of address. It's got an extra hyphen in the name, and the fulfillment center just couldn't figure that out and needed some manual help. So if you have a order that is kind of stuck in ready to pack and isn't progressing, then definitely reach out via the hub and get into contacts, and it's probably a super easy fix that we could just send it on through. And then there's also some shipments that have been initiated, so they get a tracking number, and the shipment gets packed and sent out the door, but then the carrier never receives it for some reason or another. It's called a no first scan issue, and in these cases, it's a little bit of a dance between figuring out, did the fulfillment center actually give this box to the parcel carrier, or did the carrier just kind of not do anything with it? For the orders out of NA Haze and NA Thunder that have experienced that, probably 24 or so, those have all been at this point, to my knowledge, resolved, in the sense that either the shipments have started functioning as trackable shipments, or that we got some replacement shipments sent out.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing happened, right? But like you mentioned, most of it goes pretty smooth and in a correct way. And just an interesting example I saw this morning, right? We always have like these specific type of boxes, especially in Europe, like a grey box, specific size, it fits a keyboard, wrist rest, some accessories, and that will be shipped off to the customers. And there was one customer who received all their goods except for the keyboard. And then what you actually see is what they received was like a jacked up box, which wasn't our box, like with crappy tape around it, with no keyboard inside it. So something what either happened was that somebody nicked the keyboard out during somewhere in the whole shipment, or what's more assumable is that the box got trashed somehow and they repacked it and they just forgot to add the keyboard back in. And
yeah, and it was a shipment to Australia, so there's quite a bit of transit going on there. So probably just got, like you said, just got wrecked during shipment, and then
or for customs, right? That's also a big part. And
also an option, yeah.
Yeah, I actually had it once. So in the past, where we still don't really ship to South America, right? It's all like Mexico and stuff. It's still or do we do it now these days?
We do it in some cases. So Mexico, not generally, but anything can go through a parcel forwarder. But then out of the EU store, we do ship to like Brazil and Argentina.
Yeah,
I do see those orders come through.
So an interesting case that will always what I will always remember was this was still with the Wooting one time. Yeah, so I packed like all the keyboards that had to go outside of Europe. I packed them specially in my office back then in Arnhem and shipped them out. And I knew 2 of them had to go to Mexico, both of them horrendously filled. And at some point I got a message from the customs like, hey, we found your package again, and we're gonna send it back to you, right, your keyboard. I was like, okay, nice, we're Wooting one back, we can start selling it again, or whatever, ship it back to the customer. And did you know what I received in the end in the packaging? It was like our box with all our papers, but only coca beans in it. And what happened probably was that the customs there opened all the packages, checked it, and they just mixed up the papers and the content. So somebody who ordered a coca bean kit or whatever in Mexico got a keyboard, and we got like, instead of a keyboard bag, we got like a coca bean thing bag. So
They called me like that. He's big into coffee.
no, cacao beans. That's it. Cacao beans. Yeah, no,
okay,
not
gotcha.
not coffee beans. That would have been nice though. Coffee beans. That that was.
Yeah, when you start saying coffee beans and customs, then you're probably trying to smuggle something that smells.
Okay, let me go through the chat a little bit. Yeah, so good. Mark gave a nice explanation about the whole logistical linguistics and how it all smooths and sails behind the scenes. Bottom line is keyboards are being sent out and people are receiving it. I hate joining a server, finding one to delete it. Okay. Another big thing that we've been working on the last couple of
Discord servers, yeah.
months. Yeah, this is. Let's start with a small or minor. No, it's still pretty big. So now through the Wooting hub, you can sort of subscribe. Is that the correct name? Or get a tag or subscribe to notifications on Discord. So if you have, let's say you are from batch EU bin, you can go to the Wooting hub and say like, hey, I want to receive updates through Discord and EU bin. So what you're then getting is a tag on Discord, which is temporary, and then every time when there's a batch update, Calder or Mark will update you through Discord, and we can tag everybody based on their batch names. And once the batches are all being fulfilled, so let's say EU bin has been delivered completely, no more issues, then we're just removing the tag and you don't get any updates. So it's like a temporary role you get on Discord.
Yeah, specifically for your pre-orders.
Yeah.
So those that are in toothpaste, Tampasta, the Baker and Cup, and I think Socks is now getting filled up as well, and Suka.
Yeah.
So those of you in those batches definitely sign up for the Discord notifications, so that once we get the earliest word of different stages in the process, whether we're initiating the freight shipments or if it passes quality control, those sorts of things, we can really quickly just boom, small little update, tag you, it.
Yeah, it's really nice, and the role's just temporary. I don't think we have announced this in a very major way yet. It's something we should
any way.
It's something we still should do, but it is.
Poor Tony built this amazing system. By the way, Tony built this. It's great, and we've just not given him any shine for this.
Any shine.
So, thank you, Tony, for making this system.
Yeah.
Get back to the rest of your list. It's a big one.
I can also definitely recommend to watch the latest update video on a 6HE, which is on YouTube. Sander's the one that edited it, but a lot of things have changed internally at Wooting, especially as like, okay, we hired more staff, more people to help us out, and push Wooting forward as an amazing company. And Carla sort of sums it up at the end, like, and introduces some new faces to Wooting, and that's something that happened like the last couple of months. And Tony is one of the new employees here, and it's amazing we already made this, and this is such a good improvement, and it's all part of us wanting to share more information to the customer, or like more correct information, especially with these long pre-orders and more batches that are floating around. But let's see if I can. How do I do this? Is this the? I'm using Streamlabs now, and I don't actually know.
What are you trying to accomplish?
Well, there's like this thing called Studio Mode. Here we go. So I can sort of see what I'm doing and see if I share the correct screens. Because what I want to do is show something else, something big we have been working on, and it took us. I'm just gonna throw this on. Here we go. So finally, the new store launched, and what it means, the new store, I think I mentioned it a few streams ago, is that we now have, instead of two separate storefronts, two different websites, one for North America and one for Europe and the rest of the world, we've now condensed everything in our main in our website. And we've been working on this for, I don't know, how long has it been, Mark? 2, 3,
months.
4 months? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Daryl did a lot here in the back end stuff and front end stuff and the way it looks, and at the end it was even Simon who had to stop working on a utility, jump in and do some back end things, because the whole project was a bit more complicated than we expected, because we had to bind and combine all these different things into one website. And the most important thing for us, what we wanted to accomplish, was to give more but foremost correct information to new customers, so they know where they're getting, what they're getting into. And
Yeah, so importantly that so if you are living in a tax specific location, such as in the UK or anywhere that can purchase excluding tax, that now presents before you press the buy button. That gives you a little bit of info, like, hey, this order is going to have to pay import fees. That isn't something that we can work around, but what we can do is better notify you. And that was a piece of feedback that we definitely got quite a bit from the UK.
Yeah.
Folks who were surprised at needing to pay import fees.
And also for the last 2 weeks, a lot of people on Discord, you ask them like, hey, try to break it, give feedback, and they gave such a great detailed feedback. And I think it's okay, it's done, it's where we want it to be, the whole storefront. There are some minor nitpicks we can still improve upon, but nothing major critical. And so here's where, for example, you can see if you now order a 6HE, you have like this nice a even better overlay where you can configure your 6HE. So let's say you want to have a German keyboard, so it's like an ISO model will be selected for you. You can see like all the different keycap options that are available in the German language, and you can choose between air freight and sea freight. And the cool thing here is, like, on the right side, this blue box, you can see like, okay, we expect the stock to arrive late February, and if you, for example, choose air freight, then it's like, okay, the expected stock is early February, because with air freight it's a little bit sooner. So this isn't the shipping date yet. It also shows exactly what batch you will be in. And here it's even more explanatory, where it says like, okay, we receive these goods in our warehouse, and then we still have to do the last mile shipping. And the last mile shipping, for example, to Australia takes way longer than to Germany, for example.
That's also shipper dependent. So what you select as your shipping method, that does impact that, and in some cases can be quite significant. Deutsche Post to Australia takes like 40 to 50 days.
Yeah.
But then UPS to Australia, that's 3, 4, 5 days in this there.
And what you can see here, like, I had 2 keyboards there because it was still like pending from a different thing. But what you can see here is like, okay, I can now, for example, add some my city in the Netherlands where I live. I live in a small village of Asten. Don't Google it because it's boring. You can see then that the delivery option, I can choose here DHL, for example, and the delivery, the estimated delivery would be then early March, which is pretty cool. Like, a lot of information. Okay, bye, Mark. I'll see if we can get Mark back at some point. But it's pretty cool. Oh, and there's also part of the partner program are some new things here. So now I have this thing, Simon. I'm sponsoring Simon here if I make this order. It's pretty cool. So you can see like, hey, I'm sponsoring this content creator, and it's quite important for us to have like this partner program. So let's say there are like this amazing cosplayer who wants to promote our keyboard. They can get like a unique partner ID link, and if people purchase it through that link, this partner gets a commission, a part of the commission. Which is nice. Let me see if I can get Mark back. Mark, where are you? Oh no, I need you. I don't know where have you gone. I cannot see you. No, I know I didn't kick you out. Let me give you a new link where you can join and see if we can get you back up to speed. 1 second. Here's a new link, Mark. We're using like the Streamlabs collab thing to get Mark on board, but it's kinda iffy. No, I'm not office bully. Okay, so this is all pretty cool, and if you go to check out, for example, what Mark said, so to the you can also change your location to, example, the United Kingdom, and that's where there are some I don't know a address in London, but I hear it says like all these things about the VAT that maybe applies or doesn't apply to your order, and as you can see, like the shipment dates also change based on your carrier. I don't think Mark's coming back. Was fun the time you were here. And then overall, like, this applies to the whole store, right? So like all our products overview, for example, these new Wooting double shot PBT keycaps. I saw some questions also coming in through the email. The new link is unsuccessful. Okay. I'll generate a few new links and see if this one will work. I've seen some questions about these keycaps, like, oh, I got the US ANSI 6HE. Are these keycaps pre-installed? Yes, these Wooting double shot PBT caps are pre-installed on all Wooting 6HE ANSI models. It's just like we started selling them separately the last couple of days, and yeah, it's pretty cool. You can see like, oh, these keyboards are on stock. This is this thing is expected. Let me see if I can find a nice example, maybe for the wrist rest, where it says like, oh, the 10 kilos is in stock. The full size is being expected in January. The badge is EU fingers. There's like all the reviews there. It's a pretty nice, overall it's pretty nice. Hey Mark, are you coming back? I shared another link. The screen goes black. It's a nice Black Friday thing. Okay, and that's it. That's it for the store. So our most important thing was to make sure that we got more information out there to you guys, new customers, and also what we mentioned earlier in the Wooting Hub, you can now subscribe to Discord notifications by linking your badge number to your Discord account, and you can also find smaller badge info. I can also show it on the website, I think. So we have this section now where it shows small batch updates, where Carla regularly updates instead of these big massive updates for the 6HE, which are more generalized. These are more batch specific, so you can filter on your batch, for example NA crown, and then you can find all the information that is there to know for NA crown or AU crown where there are no updates, or you can see like here all the little update notifications. So Carla goes pretty in depth here, which is pretty cool and nice. But these are also things you can filter and find in the Wooting Hub. Yeah. Any just brings me a stream by myself. It's so weird. Let me try this. Remove collab cam and re-edit. Maybe that'll work. Ooh. So we're having some technical issues getting Mark back on board. Would be a shame if he left the building now. Okay. One more time, Mark. Try this link. No, it's the same link. It's the same link I already shared. Okay, try this link. Make sure to I don't know, clean your cookies, whatever, blah blah blah. What did you miss in the last 10 minutes? Well, nothing much. I just went through the website, what was going on, and we sadly lost Mark along the way. Hi, thank you for the hard work. Just want to ask if I hold off on confirming my address. My shipping will be on hold, yes, for the next 7 to 10 days. Just waiting for support email to background my request before proceeding with confirmation. Yes, so there is a grace period of let's say 7 days on top of my mind, where if you don't confirm it, we will ship it out anyway, because sometimes this email will end up in your spam box, or you just forget to confirm it, right? So it's a temporary pause. If you want to hold it off longer or have a specific date where you want this to ship out, then let us know through social at wooting.io, and we'll get we can pause your your thing. Oh my god, Mark's so sad. Okay, I have an idea, Mark. Let's join Gather, Mark, and then you can at least talk here, and I'll just add a picture of you, and then we're sort of there. I think that's nice. The people at least can hear you, right? Okay, where's Mark? Mark, come together. We'll. Hey, you guys should be able to hear Mark again.
Testing, 1, 2.
1 2 1 2. There you go. Hello, welcome back.
All right.
Kinda a shame that this
Sort of halfway.
that this is failing.
It does mean that I can't show off my cat, which is really sad.
Oh, that's sad. Well, we can in the meantime see if we can get the. Exactly. We are totally so swamped at social@wooting.io, and we are delving through the trenches, right? And there are some very low priority emails we're sort of, I don't know, like skipping. I wouldn't say skipping, like sort of pushing aside, and we're trying to get the most critical ones out there that sort of hamper on shipment. But we are really doing our best to get everybody a response as soon as possible. And don't email.
Yeah, for sure. And shout out to Manson for.
Definitely Manson also in the trenches there, but don't like if you sent an email 3 days ago and we haven't replied to it, please don't email again. Well, you could, of course, you're free to do it, and if you really want to, be sure to do it. But I would recommend against it because it will clutter up our system, and it doesn't speed up your ticket handling. That's for sure. Okay. How do we get you back on board, Manson? Oh, Mark. Oh, Mark, can you maybe share your webcam on Gather? I can just snip it out. Or did Mark just drop on?
That's possible. You need to unmute yourself.
Oh yeah, I see. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that was my mistake. Yeah. Okay, now you should be able to hear me live again. There we go. There we go. Okay, we have Mark back in a few seconds, guys. Don't worry.
Don't despair.
We're working as hard as we can. AdSource. So, how was the afterlife, Mark?
It was really dark. just black. Strange.
Yeah, Streamlabs big disappointment. A window capture. This one is the one I need. Here we go. Oh, Mark, you're so big. You're so big, massive.
I wanted to show off my cat, but I have no idea where she went. So.
Uh-oh. Okay, because this is the highlight of the stream, right? The highlight, the big cat.
This is why wireless headsets are the way to go.
That's. I used to have a wireless headset back in the day when I was like an angsty teenager. Okay. Okay, are we ready? Are we ready? Here we go. Mark is back. Yay! Better than ever. Yay! Woo!
This is Dolly. She's adorable and was sleeping, so it's not like, why did you wake me up for this?
Oh no. Yeah, she's very cute. How long do you have her? I bet everybody is anxiously to know how long she's been your possession.
Well, she was born on the 20th of August, so she's just a little baby. I've had her since end of October. Is that right? Begin November somewhere. A little while now.
Yeah, I think it was the end of October.
My hand still.
Oh. Yeah, it's so nice. We have I don't know, like some people know, but there's like this pets channel on the Discord, which is my personal favorite channel.
Yes, absolutely.
It's the thing that highlights my day. It's like when I'm down or depressed because everybody's like, "Oh, where's my keyboard? I've been waiting for like 2 days. Shipping is so slow." I just look at the
moral sport.
Yeah, I look at the animal pictures and it really cheers me up. But I'm missing the big questions here today from the chat. Normally you guys are so anxiously questioning everything and everybody, and
just means that we nailed it in our presentation of the shipments going out. Check your hub for more info. No more questions necessary.
That's nice that we can just chill and talk and it's gonna be I'm a content creator. Where's my keyboard at? Yeah, Tony. Where's your keyboard at? You're not a content creator. You're a Discord role creator. But it's yeah, it's nice. Any ETA and utility update? Oh boy. Yeah, we had to.
Flare Tech when, Simon? You're still in the stream, right?
Flare Tech when? Yeah, we put it a little bit on hold because we needed Simon's resources to work on the store and get that one out of the way. But I think starting next week he has time again to fully focus on the utility again, hopefully. And yeah, one of the biggest thing is the Flare Tech beta. So for all the keyboards like the original Wooting 1 and the Wooting 2 Flare Tech, there's now a beta program where they also are compatible with Wooting Web, and where they can enjoy some new features that also came out with the lacquer keyboards. Let's say all the keyboards that have lacquer switches. When that will be.
Just got a question here about they placed an order and they want to look at changing their delivery options. So there's two different situations here. One is with air freight versus sea freight, and that is the shipment from factory to warehouse. You can do that upgrade just automatically through the hub. So log in using that same email address as your order, and you can add that upgrade. To change the last mile shipping method, so in the States either standard shipping or 2-day expedited, or in Europe it's based on your country and address. You can, like UPS and DPD and Dash Post, DHL, there's some of the different options. If you want to change that piece of it, you'll have to send an email, and we can process that manually.
Yeah. I'm reading through the YouTube chat because I think I've abandoned that one for a little bit. Gonna order. Okay, so somebody received it in Australia, which is nice. Congrats for finally getting it. Really have fun with it, and I hope you enjoy it as much as we do. What did the naming process of the lekker switch look like? Well, that was pretty easy. We just pressed and it's like, oh, dat voelt lekker aan. Dit is echt wel een lekkere switch. Because that's I don't know, something. What is lekker slang for? It's like wouldn't even say delicious,
Sexy.
but sexy, nice, general. Yeah, that's a good thing. So it's that's where this whole process come from. It's the Dutch word for sexy or delicious, or in general being, I guess, something that's really nice.
Smooth as well.
Smooth, yeah. Like if the sun is shining outside, it's like nice 28 degrees, no wind, and then it's like, oh, it's lekker weertje buiten. It's nice weather outside. I'm also seeing Max, Mr. Max. It's interesting that you. I recognize the picture though, Mr. the rock star. So when is the next Wood Up? He's asking. That's a good question. It's something we should start preparing anytime soon, but it will probably be in early 2023. I would say March, April, somewhere that region. But once we have more detailed information, we'll definitely.
Once it starts getting a little warmer out.
Yeah. Because there are some events that we are attending, some keyboard-specific events, and one of them is actually in the Netherlands. And to be honest, I sort of forgot the name of the event. It's a
Clack Up or something like that?
Clackicon, that's it. It's
That's it,
Clackicon.
yeah.
It's Clackicon, and the date was the 25th of February. I think if you go to the website clackicon.com, you can find all the information there. It's in Utrecht. Everybody has to pay tickets, but we will be there with a little booth where you can either say hi to us or check out some keyboard stuff. And I think these things are so nice, especially for the Netherlands, when there is a mechanical keyboard meetup, but they call this more of a convention. And I think this is a bit more bigger than just a simple keyboard meetup. They also have like different workshop and stuff, and it's very cool. And I always love these days to join them, right? Because you see a lot of keyboards, you can press a lot of buttons, which is always a good thing, and get some new inspirations of things, how keyboards can be better in general. Because let's be real, right? Most mechanical keyboard enthusiasts are very nitpicky on what they like and what they don't like. and they have a very exquisite taste. And that's something, okay, how can we do something that you spent 100 hours creating and lubing and polishing and making this like the ultimate keyboard for you, which does feel nice? How can we turn this into maybe a mass production thing? And but it's definitely worth checking out, any mechanical keyboard event, I think. And so that's something we will be attending, and so that's pretty nice. Hey Erik, was wondering if you guys have considered potentially sponsoring esports team in the future. Oh, I would love to sponsor an esports team. I would love to sponsor either a Counter-Strike or Valorant team, and then let them just beat the competition. But it's not really feasible. It's so expensive if you want to sponsor a team. These prices are insane, and it does work for marketing. And I think it only works for marketing if you reached a certain critical mass, where the most important thing is you're just throwing money so people see your brand name everywhere. And let's be real, like sponsoring smaller esports teams is not super worth it. It is worth it, if you are this company for the certain critical mass, but we haven't reached that yet. And so the closest thing what we can now do is not sponsor things, but if you're really in an esports team and you want to buy multiple keyboards, reach out to us and we can probably set you up with a sweet discount for your whole team. And that's the only thing we can do to actually sort of sponsor you. We can't give them out for free, sadly. But the closest thing that we actually have is esports team. Like, it's definitely not our esports team, right? But if you have like a professional OS player breaking records for you on the 6HE, or this Valorant player or CSGO player like Cyru, like, breaking new records during a tournament and carrying, that's amazing. That's so satisfying. To know, like, hey, you're using our keyboard because you think this is the best tool out there and you're performing so good on it. I think that's the closest feeling I will get to owning a esports team, even though I'm totally not owning this guy or having an esports team
anymore. Now we're talking about owning an esports team. just escalated a level.
Yeah, I mean it's I guess the same feeling, but
on the subject of OS specifically, I think of the top 10 players, like all of them, or maybe almost all of them, have Wooting keyboards at this point, and then out of the top 100, it's also a good chunk.
Yeah, but for us, it's in a whole different level, and I never expected this. But if you look at these top players, right, it's not like that they're improving by a fraction, improving by like 10, 20%, breaking insane records that have been there for years. And I also must be honest, I'm not the one that's into OS within Wooting. I barely know how the game works, and I know it's a rhythm game and it's highly competitive, and it's definitely not for me.
We have an OS channel on the Discord, and I watch the videos sometimes, and that is the extent of my knowledge of it. But they're pretty cool.
Yeah, but also if you for example see Twitter and it's like this maybe top 10 player on an 8th position and just receiving the keyboard, and let's check out what my BPM is, and it used to be like 8k and now it's 12k or 10k, and it's like, whoa. Just buy this keyboard, and I love people breaking records with this, and it definitely shows the value of a 6HE there. And sure, like with games as Valorant or CSGO, it's also a big benefit of having this slightly faster reaction time by stopping, thanks to rapid trigger. And for your movement just being in generally slightly more faster in your competition, it still doesn't have such an impact, I'm feeling, than it has with the game OS, and that's pretty wild. But I bet there won't be an Wooting OS live stream. I remember.
No, we can maybe make the keyboards for it, but that doesn't mean we're competent at playing the game ourselves.
I remember when Calder, me and Jeroen got baited into playing Rocket League with the community. I'm still crying myself to sleep every night. Yes.
Trauma and PTSD.
But I do think what would be nice for the stream is if you actually restream professional players or OS players that are using a keyboard in general. That would be nice. That's something we should set up. Sander, if you're watching, make it happen.
with the snap.
Write it down. Write it down. Game growth, yes. Now buy is early February 23 delivery, and it sounds horrendous, but it's only 3 months, right? There are people who've been waiting longer. Because the early people who believed in the 6-stage we call them the founders, where we had during the founders campaign. These people waited for almost a year, right? Especially if you decided halfway through to upgrade to through the ARM, you probably had to wait a year for your keyboard. And
Yeah, indeed.
to be honest, deep inside, I dislike it that people have to such an extent as just pre-order, right? Because yeah, I kind of dislike it, but it's also not realistic for us to have so many keyboards in stock, and the way we're growing now, it's pretty unrealistic. So I think, all things considered, we're doing it super fast. But it from the outside, it doesn't feel like it, and I get it. And of course, you would say like, hey, why don't you just produce more if people buy them anyway? Uh, I
Yeah,
wish
and
that
still
would be
gonna find the
possible.
components for it, right?
Yeah.
They don't grow on trees.
No, especially the sensors and the chips and all the all the critical parts for the keyboard. It just takes a while before they're ready, and we have to pre-order these also months ahead, and we have to make an estimation like, okay, how many keyboards will we sell in half a year? I mean, a half a year ago, I wouldn't I wouldn't have guessed that we're selling so many keyboards as we do now, but you
Mhm.
never know how it goes. But we're really doing our best, as thinking best, to get it out as soon as possible.
And as a hot take, we are potentially on track to have stock in-house in like May or so. Being caught up with the sales run rate and that sort of thing. So
That would
fingers
be
crossed.
fingers crossed. Yeah.
Said that last year too, and then another couple gaming communities discovered the board, and a couple of good YouTube reviews came out, and that our goal of getting them in stock this year did not happen.
No. But on another note, we approved the samples for white keycaps, which is nice. White PBT keycaps. These should go into mass production also early December, and hopefully we can have them in stock in a warehouse before Chinese New Year hits us. And then we can start selling these as well, so that's pretty nice and something to look forward to. And we're also awaiting a golden sample now of the magnetic wave keycaps, or the take control keycaps, the one we promised during the founders campaign of the 6-stage, which was sort of a stretch goal. I'm hoping that we're now very satisfied once we receive these keycaps and the packaging is all done, and then we can also start selling these. So that's something people have been asking and wondering, and we have sort of taken it, out of the whole public view the last couple of months, or the last half a year, maybe 9 months, because we knew like there were more important things to work on, but it's slowly getting there. Yeah, such a good stuff.
It's definitely one of the benefits of expanding the team so much as was done. That there's now quite a number of projects kind of working in tandem. That's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's great, and it's a big benefit of having Vanessa now on board. So Vanessa is our new project manager in Taiwan, and she exactly what she does. She manages the projects, right? And it's so good. Like, she gets in touch with our suppliers, our manufacturers, and it's like, okay, we need this happen, and then she comes back to us like, hey, Erik, you need to do this, Carl, you need to do this, for us to move the project forward to, and it's so nice, because that frees up so much space for mostly Carl and Kevin, so they can focus again on their core tasks, right? So Carl making sure that all operational things go smoothly and that all the cash flow predictions are correct and what we're going to do in 2023, and then Kevin totally focused on new projects that are coming up in 2023. And
yeah, and a super relevant question here from Warpig is any plans to put replacement switches and stabs and other accessories on the web store? Yes, there are plans for that, at least as it relates to switches. Don't have any specific timeline on that, but that's exactly the sort of thing that now that that there are more individuals who can focus on those kinds of projects. But yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing we're working on.
Yes, that's nice. This is something that Vanessa is working on. Yeah, making sure to get more out there, which is pretty cool, and it's also kind of scary from a founder's perspective, the way Wooting now grows, because this is something that really I started noticing the last couple of months. Normally I would know for 95% what everybody's working on, what the upcoming things are, and you know what the general thing is about batches, pre-orders, production quantities, and that kind of stuff. But now there's so much happening at the same time, it's just impossible for me to know everything what's happening and at once, right? And if I now want to know something, I have to search for it within Wooting instead of just knowing it, and that's yeah, that's pretty cool. And I'm seeing everybody now being hyped because what do you think about Atrana 1300 pp new record using the keyboard that you sent him? It's
New world
amazing.
records being broken every day. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
I like I mentioned earlier, my knowledge of Oz is actually pretty on the low side, especially within Wooting. But yeah, congratulations on breaking another world record. And I don't know what the
Do it again.
previous record was and how much of an improvement this is percentage-wise, but I bet you it's more than a few percentages, which is
Probably.
which is pretty sick. And I'm hoping that now more people in the Oz community getting the keyboards out there, and especially in the upcoming months, right? Because now the last few months people from Oz are buying the keyboards, so it will probably take it till February before they get their keyboards. And it's nice when more people get this keyboard, and it's more being more abused, you know, and more performance get pulled out of it, and more records break. And yeah, I can't wait for it. The Apex OmniPoint has lighter 45 gram springs. Will there be an option for lighter springs for Wooting? We do sell lighter springs on the store, and they're definitely a lot lighter than what the stock lacquer switches are. So besides the springs that you can swap yourself on every switch, we're also exploring ways of if we can get lighter switches.
Yeah, instead of the springs having
Instead of
them
springs.
as switches themselves.
Yeah.
That
But
would
we're
be nice.
still
So,
in the exploration phase there, so it
the concern there is minimum order quantities on these switches, and if that is feasible relative to what we might expect the number of people interested in purchasing that.
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Is it doable from a business sense? But we're definitely looking into it.
Yeah, the PP record would not have been possible without the Wooting. It's improved by like 10%, which is huge. Yeah, that's huge.
Accurate.
Can you imagine like Usain Bolt, whatever, getting new Nikes and then shattering all like sprinting records by like 10, 20, 15%? It's
They're
would
like
be
those
insane.
shoes that have the little extra metal piece on the end that gives you that like spring forward. It's yeah, can't use those in the Olympics, unfortunately.
No, this. I think it's so cool. Don't you think, Mark? It's something we
Yeah,
created
absolutely.
as a Wooting team, and I mean, we knew the 6HE and Rapid Trigger especially was pretty insane, but people actually using it in this regard, it's
Yeah, I mean it's
mind-blowing.
the best keyboard in the world, and it's the fastest keyboard in the world, and to those for whom that little bit of extra response time makes a huge difference. You know, the top of the top. That's pretty cool. That it's our product that gets in that last little bit.
I mean, sure, it took us like 6 or 7 years to reach this point and to get this finesse and this technology out there, and yeah, we hopefully we can even get more out of it, you know, and push the firmware even harder and see if we can get it even faster or come up with some other cool innovations in keyboards that really benefits gamers. SteelSeries released a latency comparison video comparing many keyboards, including the 2HE, and showed an Apex Pro was the fastest. Any plans to release? Yeah, so these things.
Of course, SteelSeries is gonna say that their keyboard is the fastest, just like we say our keyboard's fastest, but you really need to wait for the third-party groups to do their thing. So Artings has some
Yeah.
already published on that, and I know that there's a couple of really big names that are doing their own keyboard investigations on latency and that sort of thing.
I think
So,
Linus Tech Tips came with a video out recently, right, where they sort of showcased
yeah, they're building a keyboard lab.
the lab they're
Mhm.
building, and I
Yep.
think at least what I saw in the video, they are testing it in a sort of scientific, fair way, where they sort of get,
Mhm.
where they just actually measure the latency and not like all the fluff around it, right? Which is good. So, and like Mark's mentioned, like the rate Artings website also has some information about input latency and input lag, and
Yep. They've only got the 2HE as far as I'm aware, but
yeah. The only thing I can say here is that I also saw this comparison with SteelSeries, and it was a bit unfair how they measured it, first of all, and the settings they used on the Wooting 2HE, because you can have like slow settings and fast settings, and so they went totally for the slowest one and probably just got it out of the box and did that preliminary testing. But bottom line is whether it's true they're saying, or whether we come up with some sick graphs why we are faster than SteelSeries or any other keyboard. Never trust manufacturers, because we as a manufacturer, what we want to do is look the best and sell the
Mhm.
most keyboards. So
yeah, and they can be incredibly truthful and accurate and honest in the way that they present the data, but there's statistics, lies, and damn lies, or something like that. I think I said that backwards. But, you,
Yeah.
you can pretty much say anything you want with graphs. What you got to focus on is the world records that are being broken. What keyboard are they using? It's not a SteelSeries.
Yeah, that's that's true, because when that's Mark hits nail on the head, and the only thing I can add here is like, don't trust manufacturers. Also, don't trust what we say. Like, I know that what we're saying is super fair and how we want to run a company. We want to be open and transparent and not lie or go into like all these marketing fluffs. But still, don't trust us, right? Do your own research.
Mhm.
Search for reviews online before you purchase a product. Google these things and see if you can find a reliable source that isn't linked or sponsored by any of these manufacturers or by us, right? Because you want to get an objectively view, and seeing other people perform so insanely on this keyboard, like for example with us, or there was also some very specific records being broken with our keyboard with Trackmania, for example, and some pro players
Mm.
hitting some insane.
Caused a bit of a stir with Trackmania.
Yeah, definitely. Trust those and don't trust the manufacturers. That's all I can say. So maybe they have less latency. Could be. Let's see. But I think the Linus Tech Tips one, they're building a pretty fair lab, and
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
yeah.
That's gonna be huge.
yeah, that would be pretty cool. I don't know when they're finished, or if they're actually gonna release videos on it, or if they're just gonna build a website with all this information. But yeah, I think that's
It'll probably be many months before we start seeing that content come out.
Yeah, the Will. I also saw the Will one. It's a German guy, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there was
He did
also
a review of our keyboard as well.
yeah, but there was also something. I don't know if it was the Will. Maybe it was the Will or another reviewer. Also had a big look on latency, but it was also not really a fair comparison. And yeah, it's very difficult to actually what latency do you actually want to measure, right?
Mhm.
That's also a good question. But from a practical point of view, I think even most YouTubers, if they test latency, it's also not a real life thing, right? Because what you want to test is like, okay, press a button now, when's something gonna happen on my screen? But now, how do you make sure that this press that you're doing is always equal for every keyboard? That's yeah. Rapid Trigger will always be and feel more responsive than a keyboard with 8K polling rate. Yeah, that's also there. Polling rate is
Loon
also
is
pretty interesting.
demanding the cat. I see in the Twitch chat, but can you not see the cat? I
Yeah,
don't know if this it's
we
getting
need
cut
to.
off or something. It's in
It's
the
getting
bottom
cut
right
off a
now.
little bit.
Oh no, that's a shame.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up a little bit.
There's a cat.
Oh.
She's asleep.
What am I doing?
I have no idea.
Delete. This one. Here we go. We can zoom in. Have only the cat stream. Only cat
Perfect.
stream there. Oh, perfect.
It's been a long, tough day with lots of playing.
So this is Mark. Mark's a cat. Mark's a cat.
Take care of your tickets, right? Meow.
Meow. It's the best.
Some super troopers on.
We need more cats in the stream. Cats and dogs. Let me go quickly over YouTube, and I think get your final questions in, because I also wanna sort of slowly turn down the stream, because there are more tickets we need to get into, and make sure everybody is happy. Is the SteelSeries HE keyboard your only real competition right now? We don't really have competitors at the level that we are performing. Everything is child's toys. No,
I mean, Eric jokes, but honestly, like we just need to make more keyboards, and then we can register on the scale of the Razors and the Corsairs and the SteelSeries.
Yeah, we're still far away from there, right? Because those are like massive companies who are like active in every country, and you can get them in every shop, and which is nice. So, but speed-wise, yeah. Of course, we have competitors, right? Like every other keyboard manufacturer out there. Because for us as a small brand, it's so difficult to gain the trust of new consumers. Because let's say your keyboard breaks, you don't know anything about keyboards, right? So you're googling what are the best gaming keyboards of 2020k, right? And then you go to this website and you see like, oh, this Razer I don't even know what a Razer keyboard is called. Huntsman. Huntsman Mini Elite 2 Tournament XP Edition. And you have the Apex Mini from SteelSeries and the Wooting 60HE. And then people know the brand Razer and SteelSeries because they are gamer brands, right? And then Wooting, like, what the fuck is Wooting? Like this Chinese rip-off brand? Why does this review says it's the best, so good, so many specs, but why is it cheaper? I mean, this little company must be crap, right? If I'm paying 160, 200 euros for a keyboard, I want to get the best, so I'm buying the most expensive keyboards, which is maybe the Huntsman Mini Pro Elite Tournament Edition V4. You get that keyboard because if it's better or not, that's not really the point. It's also we don't have the trust of the consumers yet, right? And the brand authority, and that's something that just needs
at least
to grow.
Not at scale. I mean, the customers that we have, I think we've built up a lot of trust.
Yeah,
these
definitely.
customers, but consumers, not so much. Just unknown, and we're not at the point where we can throw out a ton of money into just brand awareness. That's not an option for us.
No.
So our brand awareness comes from OS players setting records, from our keyboards getting used by the CS:GO tournament champions, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, but it's something that has to grow over years, and we're slowly getting there. And I think the biggest thing that now sells us keyboard, and I'm pretty convinced of this, it's just word of mouth. People getting people taking the risk of getting a Wooting keyboard and taking a chance on us and believing in our story and our goal, and then they get it. It's like, whoa, this has been like that was more epic than I expected it, and it's even better than any other keyboard I had out there, right? Compared to the SteelSeries and Razer thing. And the only thing we can hope is that they like it so much that they recommend it to their friends, to their brothers, to their sisters, their parents, their neighbors, and in their communities, and saying like, hey, if your keyboard ever breaks down, be sure to check out Wooting and take it with you in equation, because I can vouch for them. And that's how we slowly also grow over time, and which is nice.
That's one thing that has me really excited about all these loads and loads of shipments that you sent out. That word of mouth, you know, so many new customers now have their hands on, or will in the next week or two, get their hands on this keyboard, and you know they're going to be excited about it. They're going to tell their friends about it, and hell yeah, they should, because it's great. And then that becomes exponential really quick.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So everybody now also watching and who is waiting for an order, or maybe it's now on the way, or they just received it, or they still have to wait, or they like on the fence of getting one. Thank you for your trust.
My 60HE is on the way, and I can't stop refreshing the tracking page.
There we go.
Yeah, that is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because like
when we
always,
launched those those batches, the big ones just now,
mhm.
there were a few moments where our servers just couldn't handle everybody so excited refreshing the pages.
Pop, 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 pop. And they should be excited.
Hmm.
Let's wind it down, Mark. Let's end it
That's a good
on
plan.
our favorite quote. Our success is your satisfaction.
Mine's got to be on the subject of requesting a refund. My mom says I've got too many keyboards.
Oh, oh, there was one. This mother also emailing, or like a father. I don't even remember what it was, but the son had like bad grades and wasn't allowed the 60
Oh yeah, that was a good one too.
Oh, that's
Oh,
painful.
sorry, pops.
Oh, disappointed. Why didn't you do better at school? You could have had a
Right.
60 for Christmas.
Now you've got to live with a Steel Series or something. Oh,
Oh, too bad. Okay.
a little bit of shade thrown.
Thanks everybody for watching, and thanks everybody for being nice to Mark. It was also a pleasure having you here, Mark, because I think
Yeah, it was fun.
you gave a great insight on how the customer service works, and especially the whole logistics behind it, how people can expect. So
Mhm.
everybody, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Oh, and don't forget, 2 weeks. That's the 16th, but the 30th is the big end of the year live stream. So you don't want to miss that one. It's probably around the same time as these regular streams, but it's big. More team members will be here. You can win.
Probably could be some prizes, right?
You can win crazy prizes if you
Hey,
join
hey,
the quiz.
hey.
Yeah,
Maybe
Maybe-
even a keyboard.
maybe a 60G with expedited shipping. No
What?
way, no. But we will have some sick prizes, and we will send an email out there talking about the stream and what you can expect. But also keep an eye out on Discord and our socials so you don't miss it, because everybody wants to win free things. Right, bye Dali, bye Mark, and see you guys.